The planning conversation starts here on the Income Protection Podcast. Here's your host, Mike Cogdall and Grayson Owen.
Mike, we're back. 2026, man. How's it going in Northwest Florida?
2026. Hard to believe. I'm not going to go down the age avenue today. I'll just skip that one, but it's going really well. Thank you. A little chilly here, but not like the 100 million people in the country that are way worse than I am today. We were, I think you are too. I'm not sure, but we were south far enough. We got some cold weather, but no other snaps. Like Ole Miss, Oxford, I don't even know if they have power in the entire town. They're just not used to that when you've got a university in a small town. And it's just, I have friends that just sent me a note from Louisville that they're stuck in, they think Orlando until Wednesday. So I'm doing great. Sun's out, weather's good. Really want to go west. So where you need snow, like in the Rockies to go skiing, isn't happening. So, here we go again, talking about weather when we don't really need to. It's a little crazy, but that's all right. We've been doing it for a while now, so we'll continue. What about yourself? How are things? Did you have a great holiday? I know everybody's probably back in school and all those things are happening again. And it's really good to be back and continue this show that I'm doing with one of my dear friends. So I appreciate you. What's happening in your world?
Yeah, man. Staying busy. There was no slow start to the year in this business. I'll say that. And weather here is good. We were below the storm line. So we are going to catch some cold weather this week. Might have to drip the external faucets outside. But other than that, nothing to complain about. Everything's good, man. And we're getting a late start in January, but life's been busy, man. So here we are, and we're about to head to Tallahassee in a couple days and create a plan for the year. So we're looking forward to bringing great information and guests to everybody to the podcast this year. So looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, Grace and I are actually meeting face to face instead of just a Zoom call in Tallahassee. Seems to work out for both of us. Enough said. Things are good. Weather's good. Here we go with another year. Crazy world still turns. And let's just make it a good one.
Rock and roll. Let's get after it. Let's talk some DI, Mike. So what are your thoughts?
So my thoughts are income protection is alive and well and should be. We will start the year where we left off with, I think one of the biggest issues we have is awareness. And with that, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. If you go back to when we first met each other and you started in the business, Grayson, you had just got started, stepped out on your own, and that horrific thing called COVID hit. Fast forward now to where you are today from when you first started, which was almost, I thought it was an impossible task that you could survive in this industry during COVID. But, hats off to you because somehow you managed to. And where you are now, what happened in 25, what you're looking at in 26, and just a quick progression on like what you've seen, what you've done actually to make yourself successful in this business.
Yeah, Mike. So great question. Thanks for asking that. I would probably describe it the same way that I tell producers when they ask me, hey, how do I build a disability insurance practice? I always respond by saying something to the effect of, this business is brick by brick. And what I mean by that is it's policy by policy, client by client. But if you stay consistent for the long haul, all of a sudden you look back and you have a tremendous block of business. And certainly I couldn't have done it without the DI Broker East team and your mentorship, but it's really just chipping away policy by policy, customer by customer, making sure they're taken care of. And so from a wholesale perspective, I've had to get innovative, had to step outside my comfort zone for marketing, public speaking, doing a variety of different strategies over the years. And most of those things I've been fortunate enough, they've paid off and in a really great way. And serving the brokers that I serve on a daily basis is a tremendous honor. And I take it very seriously, and I don't forget to have fun along the way too. And to that same point, a lot of the brokers that I started working with in 2020 started doing a lot of the same things that I was doing. So I've gotten to grow alongside a lot of these brokers, and I've seen what they've built over the years, brick by brick. And some years, maybe it's adding a handful of policies, and other years it's double digits, but everybody's growing their book of business how they want to. And even though I'd like to encourage them to grow it faster with more customers, for some people, it's, a part-time job, as you've always talked about. I have respect for that as long as everybody's having the conversations. Whether you're a broker or a wholesaler like me, It is a brick by brick business. And so you just have to keep your head down, go to work every day, take it conversation by conversation, and make sure you're having an impact on as many people as possible. If you stay the course there for long enough, I think that everybody wins. The customers, more customers are protecting their income and their businesses. And, the brokers that are doing the work are benefiting from it as well financially. Because, brokers do enter this business to protect their clients and earn a living. And DI is a great way to do that. So great business for us to be in. And we just need to go find a way as an industry to go help more consumers. That's the bottom line. I know that we harp on this year after year, but out there in the market, everybody, it's easy to get sidetracked by the shiny object in the room or the next, product to go focus on or specialize in. But making sure that you have somebody in your corner or on your team or you yourself, you're able to help proactively discuss income protection and DI solutions with your prospective clients and current clients is absolutely vital.
Well, wouldn't you agree that this is absolutely, and I'm talking about what we do specifically, income protection. Wouldn't you agree that this is a 100% people business?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're having conversations with people. I think Corey Anderson had mentioned this on our last podcast.
He actually did.
Yeah, you're having conversations with clients about their medical and financial status. And that is as personal as things get. And a lot of the reasons why people get coverage is to replace their income to make sure their family's okay if something happens to them. A lot of times, right? So when that's the reason why they're doing it, it's even more personal.
I know. I find it interesting, and I say it's a people business. And you know what? There's so many people that are just not aware that income protection exists, and we'll work on this daily. But the thing that strikes me, it's selfish. It's one of the few things that if you actually get it, unlike life insurance, you're still here. You're the benefactor of owning an income protection policy, not just you. If you have a family, doesn't matter. It can be you or a family. It doesn't really matter how it works. But you're the benefactor of this particular product. It's not that you won because nobody ever wants to see somebody hurt or sick, correct? You just don't. Yep. And you really don't know, Grayson, for how long. And we can all, it's not going to happen to me. Well, that's bull. That's like saying I'm going to win the Powerball. Yeah, at 250 million to 1. It just doesn't work that way. But being the benefactor of something that you invest in, and I talked to a guy today who earlier today, and we talked about two things. One is he's in a jewelry business, and it doesn't matter how or why or what. But anyway, said, yeah, when I ship stuff, I ship things all over the place, basically all over the world, right? Jewelry. Expensive jewelry items. And I'm like, well, what does that cost? And he goes, I don't know. $1,000 a month. I go, and the income, and he's like $150,000 a year. And I go, so you spend $12,000 a year to make sure that you have an income. Now let's put this in perspective of what you and I do. Could you do that math for me really quick at $150,000 income? How much would they have to spend for a great income protection policy that, again, they both will serve a purpose? One, make sure you get paid, and that's because you insured it and you can't afford to lose. We'll call it a $35,000 watch. Because that's bad. And you're spending $12,000 a year to do that to make 150 and then flip it quickly. The analogy here is you can make an analogy to anybody's my point on why this stuff makes sense. What would it cost somebody making 150 at 25 years, 30 years of age to buy approximately?
So that's, if we say 2 to 4 or 1 to 3 or whatever your percentage guess is, depending on the occupations that you work with.
So my point is to protect your income. One is 66 2/3 less than the other one, almost 67% less.
Yeah.
Which would you do?
Yeah. I mean,
the answer is easy, both.
Yeah. Right.
Because it only makes sense.
Right.
And that's where we have to be, is we have to get the word out. Another thing I talked to this guy about today is, and I think you would agree, tell me if you don't, people run in circles, cliques, groups, friend groups, whatever people call things. Wouldn't you say most people hang around with similar like-minded people?
That's what they say.
I mean, you're just not polar opposites typically, like just so far off the spectrum. And I don't care if it's politically, athletically, religiously, or anything. You're just, if you're hanging out with dudes or women, but people that love college basketball, you do. And that's what you discuss. My point there is this, and this is something that I think got lost, and it's come full circle for me. If you're hanging out with like-minded people and somebody buys an income protection policy for you, why would you not ask for referrals? Give me a reason and tell me how you would go about doing that.
Yeah. So That is the, $100 million question probably, right? So solving that riddle for many producers is the difference between being good and great. And I would say this, the number one reason why people don't ask for referrals is fear, literally fear, which 9 times out of 10, fear is fake and is not really real. And so you have to ask yourself as a producer, if you believe in what you're helping clients with, why do you not believe that the people that you're currently working with won't introduce you to people that they also care about that might need help with the same thing? So you have to get that out of your mind, number one, because thinking about disability insurance, income protection, the vast majority of working Americans in the United States don't know or understand what their options are for long-term disability coverage. So your job is to just go set up informational meetings to share, hey, this is where you currently are. And if you need more coverage, if you qualify, this is where you could be. Which option do you want? And if you literally just take out of your mind that you're here to sell insurance, you just got to go educate people on their options. And as a result, some people are going to say, yes, I want to purchase this. And you just need to go talk to as many people as possible. So in order to do that, one of the easiest ways that has been well known in the insurance and financial services business is through referrals. But Mike, to your point in our earlier discussion before we got on, a lot of industries ask for referrals consistently, but for some reason, it's like the elephant in the room in the insurance business where some top advisors who have a method of doing this do it consistently and others only do it sporadically. And so I don't know the answer to why that is, but my guess is that it's all between the ears and it's fear that's making that decision for the producer.
And we'll use myself as a quick example. Yeah, I have to go to the dentist. The dentist says, oh, gosh, we took an x-ray, Mike. I think there's a vertical crack in the tooth, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's really interested in my mouth history. But anyway, the first thing the dentist does is refers me to their favorite oral surgeon. Yep. So there's a referral right there. During this period of time, I have some dryer issues and I need the dryer wizard. You know what the dryer wizard is? They come and they clean your duct because mine goes and makes a couple of turns in my house. Of course, it just doesn't go straight out. It's more than a guy like me can handle. And you know what? He brings all the special gear and does it. And of course, a few $100s later, not a lot. The dryer seems to be working perfectly again. And the light doesn't come on. Cool. I'm happy. What do I immediately get from him after I pay the bill? Do you know anybody else? Would you rate me? Would you refer me? So that's dryer bit. Then I go buy another Jeep Gladiator after the auto accident because I needed to get another vehicle. By the way, everything is fine there. Not that it matters, but everything is fine. And as soon as I'm done with the car sales guy, which is an awesome dude, the internet guy who happens to be in there the day. So he does the internet sales, but he meets me there to take care of the rest. What's the first thing he asks when we're done and I sign on the dotted line?
Referral.
First thing. Absolutely. Do you know anybody else that I might be able to provide service that's interested in a Jeep in? You know what? So I go and I finance a car. Don't want to pay for it in cash. Financing now is kind of reasonable again, unlike during the COVID days. So I get done and it's some credit union, I think in Alabama, which is fine. Awesome. Great people on the phone. As soon as I get done, credit's approved. They're telling me how cool everything is. Here we go. Tell me to do my online enrollments. I get a phone call one day later. Do you know anybody else that might want to be looking for a credit union that does XYZ because we're really good at it and you had great experience with us? That's 4 different groups of people basically that asked me for referrals within a 36 to 48 hour period. What I'm saying is it's not a dirty word. It's just not. And I think if we can take a lesson away from that, we should. You know, sometimes what's old is new again. People always go, you know, I've written like 4 docs. So I wrote an orthopedic surgeon, you know, and people are always like, well, have him write the rest of his group. Sure, you can try to do that. But, you know, orthopedic surgeons just don't hang out with orthopedic surgeons. They may hang out with like-minded people sometimes or people that run in the same circles. They may be members of the same country club. The guy that owns the 5 different franchises or whatever he does for a living or she does for a living could be his golfing partner for 20 years and only 43 years old has never heard of income protection. And that's the easiest conversation you can have if you've already written an orthopedic surgeon. It's, hey, doc, you've been hounded on this stuff since you were in medical school. You know, you've probably got friends that aren't in medicine. Well, of course I do. What do you, I think I'm just going to hang out with the same people like orthopedics all day and talk about phones and replacements? No, I've got a lot of friends that are outside that market. You know what's interesting, Doc? None of them know about income protection, the way you take care of your family and what you've spent for this and why you buy it and why you bought it. Some of your dearest friends have never heard of this. Would you mind throwing me a couple of names and giving me a positive to just give them a quick call? I won't bug them. Just give them a 5-minute conversation. If they don't like it, that's fine. They never have to speak to me again. But I just think it's that important to take care of family. And if they're dear friends of yours, wouldn't you want their family taken care of too? I just gave it to you right there. That's an easy question to have. And the worst thing that's going to happen is say, no, I don't do that.
That's it. Yep.
So I didn't get hurt. My feelings aren't hurt. No, I don't do that. On to the next.
Yep. Yeah. And I think it is that simple. And Mike, it's crazy because you went through 4 different industries and occupations that did that within a 48-hour period. It's kind of mind-boggling. So I think the other thing I want to lay out here, kind of like final concept of the day, and obviously we're really honing in on asking for referrals, because if you think about it as a percentage of customers that you help or clients that you help throughout the year, if you ask everybody, and even if only 1 out of 5 actually refers you to somebody, that's a tremendous percentage of new prospective clients that you're speaking to. So think about that for a second. But I want to really hone in on this a little bit more, because in the DI space, I believe the vast majority of insurance and financial professionals out there have marketing problems. And I'm going to explain why I believe that. So if we look at disability insurance business amongst the producers out there that are listening, and anyone that knows anybody that's in production or in sales out there are only 2 real constraints out there on their business. One is called a demand constraint, and that means that they do not have enough clients and prospects to talk to about disability insurance. And if you have this and you want more people to talk to, you just don't know how, or you haven't figured out the process to get referrals consistently from the same sources, that means that you have a marketing problem. So the good news is that that's the first thing you need to go fix. How can you ramp up your marketing? I don't know if that's social media, public speaking, cold calling, asking for referrals from your current customers. There's a million different things that we can discuss and that we've discussed on previous podcasts. But marketing is how you fix the demand puzzle there. And the vast majority of producers are stuck there. The other constraint that's out there is the capacity constraint. And the capacity constraint is that you have so many referrals that you and your team can barely process all the business. And at that point, that's a great problem to have, because now you just have to figure out where the bottlenecks are in the new business facilitation process and fix those things one by one, incrementally. But most people don't have the capacity problem, Mike. They have the demand problem. They don't talk to enough. And we talk about, the industry having the awareness problem. And the crazy part is, Mike, is that literally there are so many working Americans out there. They have no idea about their long-term disability coverage options. And the vast majority of producers also have a demand problem where they don't have enough customers and to talk to, or prospects to talk to about disability insurance. So all you have to do to marry the two together, or to fix each of those problems, is to have better marketing. So I really would implore everybody this year, asking for referrals, ramping up your marketing, social media, public speaking, whatever it is. The opportunity is endless out there. We just have to fix the marketing side so that you can have more conversations. That was my long-winded way of saying, get out there and market more.
And you know what? Something that you and I have always looked at, and we don't really do this often, but we can help you. We can help you. We're full of ideas, and they're not all perfect. But, I've got so many ways that you can open a conversation in 5 minutes about income protection. I probably know at least 30 ways. You probably would agree with me that it's an easy conversation to have, and you either get shut down or it goes a little bit farther. Demand or capacity, either one can be fixed.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to the year, my friend. I'm looking forward to seeing you Thursday.
Likewise. It's going to be a great year. And to all of our listeners out there, we look forward to sharing the journey with you. Mike, enjoyed the conversation. Have an awesome day, man.
All right. I'll see you Thursday. Drive safe.
Rock and roll.
Thanks, buddy. Bye. And remember, financial planning starts with a risk protection package first.
And your clients are counting on you. See you on the show next time.
All right, my friend. Be well.